now we're going to do some swings, all right? Thing to keep in mind with the nunchaku, the most important thing is developing the confidence in being able to swing the weapon and catch it, and to develop full power swings, all right? So what do I mean by that? Well, you'll also often see people doing this with the nunchaku, where it's all wrist, okay? This looks very nice and it looks great. You know, I'd move right in and take that strike on my forearm. In Matayoshi Kobudo, we do not swing like that. Our goal is when we swing a nunchaku, we want it to be devastating. We want the power to crush the opponent, okay? This is extremely, extremely important, okay? The problem is when you swing the nunchaku hard, you have to be able to catch it, right? And that's one of the things where people get a little worried about, you know. Listen, I'm doing this a long time. Believe me, I've smashed myself in the knee. I've hit myself in the elbow. One night I was in class and there was a lot of people and I'm trying to swing not so big because I'm afraid I'm going to hit somebody, and I wound up clipping my head. And when I finished the kata and I went like this, I had blood on my fingertips, right? Now it was just a scrape, but the nunchaku can be dangerous, all right? All the weapons can be dangerous. But again, the weapons where you swing, you're going to get beat up a little bit until you become proficient with them, all right? So let's start with a basic swing. So we're going to stand in seisan or sanshin dachi. We're going to have the hand here, and we're just going to swing across. It's going to be level with the ground. As we do this, as the nunchaku passes, we're going to come here. Now, if you noticed, I pivoted my feet. Now, when I come back, my feet come back. Now, this is to get more power and get the waist involved. Eventually, you will not be pivoting your feet, but the waist will still be there. But in the beginning, it's easy to just pivot the feet and come back. And this is the swing. And notice the timing. So we don't trap the arm under the nunchaku. Not a good idea. So we bring the arm up, and the arm you'll see is like this. So if I stand sideways this way, you'll see it's here, right? It's here, right? So if I stand this way, you'll see the same thing. The hand comes up and goes back down. So from the front, it's here, here, okay? And then we start putting some oomph in it, okay? So be careful in the beginning, build up to that. Don't go out and try to come out and swing it as hard as you can, all right? You notice I'm not hitting myself in the back, all right? You develop control with the weapon where it's always in control, all right? So that's the side-to-side swing, all right? You can also work where you're catching it, and you're catching it. So that's something you can add to it also. And you can begin to work some of the swings and then finish with one of the different catches, all right? And I'll leave that up to you to play around with. Again, there's no formal nunchaku basics as far as the Kodokan is concerned, okay? But obviously, you know, you can see already we've already gone through a whole bunch of things, all right? Okay, so we did side to side, all right? Now, from here, right, we're going to swing and we're going to come on an angle up and down. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to come up on an angle up and down. So it's up, down. I'm going to do them just on the right side, but everything I do on the right side, you have to do on the left, okay? So up, down. And you see how the waist is involved, right? So when I start swinging with power, you see there's a big difference, okay? So this one up and down, all right? So we did side to side, and we did this angle. And this angle is going from the corner of the jaw up through the face on an angle. That's what I'm looking to do. So now what we're going to do is we're going to combine the two, all right? And in combining the two, we'll have one of the basic swings that is all throughout the Matayoshi Nunchaku kata, all right? So the way we do it in the basic, in the Nunchaku kata is we're here, we step in, and we let this come down through the top of the head. Now we swing up and down, here, here, and let the nunchaku come over. Then we go side, side, and let the nunchaku come over. Okay? So that's the basic swing in the kata. So again, I can be here, step in, down through the top. Up, down on an angle, over. Side, side, over. Later on, when you practice this, There's no stopping at that point. So later on, it's here, and everything smooths out and goes together. All right? And you'll see when the follow-up on the Nunchaku kata video, you'll see the catch would be behind the back next. All right? So that's the basic swing that's used throughout the basic Nunchaku kata. All right? Not the basic, the only Nunchaku kata in Matayoshi Kobudo. Like I said, there's some people that studied earlier at the Kodokan. They learned a different version of the Nunchaku kata. All right? And you'll see that. Again, nothing wrong with that. So then you know 2 instead of 1. I know that kata also, but I don't spend a lot of time practicing it. I think the one that Matayoshi settled on is far superior to that one. Okay? So that's the basic swing for the kata. Now we have figure 8. So figure 8, we're going to come here. So we draw an X through a person's face. Okay? We come right down and draw the X through the face. So it's here. It's just this. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. And then eventually we do power. Okay? So that's the basic figure 8 swing. The reverse figure 8. Okay? So the reverse figure 8 is like this. So it's from underneath coming up instead of up coming down. And we do this, we're here. And then, okay? So you come up from the underneath and come up and strike from underneath. Okay? So that's another swing. All right? Another swing you can work on, right, is start with it under the armpit, right? You can keep this hand up as a guard, right? And now this comes out and you catch it. So from the side, it looks like this. Okay? The figure 8 from the side looks like this. The reverse figure 8 looks like this. Our basic swing looks like this from the Nunchaku kata. Okay? So, all right? So this one, again, you know, you're going to use this in combat? I don't think so, but it's just another fun one to work on, all right? And then what you could do is you can change it up a little bit. You do 2 strikes. So instead of doing 1 strike and catching it, you do 2 and catch it. Catch it. Okay? And again, it's about coordination. Can you do it? Can you do it smoothly and quickly and fast with power and then catch it under the armpit, right? So again, it's just another Nunchaku technique to work and practice, okay? All right, another swing, okay? So another swing we can do is, right, and again, you can start with different kamae. So you could start here if you want, right? You can start here. We're going to step in and we're going to swing low for the knee. Okay? And again, this is just something to work on. We swing low for the knee and then come across the head. So we're coming in on the opponent, striking for his knee. And then we come right around to strike to the head. So you're doing 2 swings. So it's 1, 2. Right? So again, 1, 2. Okay? And that's another swing. So slowly swing at the knees, come around, swing through the head. And again, you can play around with swings. You can work different combinations, right? Again, it's whatever your imagination can come up with. And the more coordinated you become, where you're swinging and catching the nunchaku from different angles, okay? Great. All right? There's, you know, so in the nunchaku kata, we also do some of the swings on one knee. You could do that also, all right? And you can just again, have fun with it, all right? Another technique we have that's in the Nunchaku kata is called metsubishi, which means eye smashing. And what we normally do is we're here, and this is our deflection, okay? Deflection and come here, and now we step in and we throw the nunchaku, aiming right for between the eyes on the opponent, okay? So you're throwing it at the eyes, okay? It's a very disconcerting technique. When I film the bunkai drill for this kata, all right? We do this, and you'll get to see it done against the opponent, and you throw it like a dart. So from the side, it looks like this. We deflect, and then we throw out, all right? So this is another very cool technique to work with the nunchaku. However, if you're working with it against a partner, be very careful. Let's not, the old joke, everything, it's all fun and games until somebody loses an eye. So let's be careful on that. All right. So that's really kind of it. All right. Again, from here, what you do is you put together all different kinds of combinations. You can start to move and do some swings like that. I can do this, right? Maybe catch it, and then this, right? So you can start playing and having fun and just experimenting with different combinations. Again, just in the beginning, be careful. You're going to start with the nunchaku. You're going to start feeling pretty good, and then you're going to hear the clunk, and that clunk will be the nunchaku hitting your knee. Or you'll hear and that'll be it hitting the inside of your elbow, right? Or maybe conking yourself on your head. And like I said, I always remember when my students first start doing nunchaku, and initially they're going nice and slow, and they're doing a swing slow, okay? And then what happens is they start feeling, oh, I'm feeling pretty good. And then as they're doing that nunchaku kata, I'm practicing or working with someone else, and I hear that, right? And I hear the person go, oh man, right? And they've hit the knee or they've hit the elbow. Okay, let's do some double nunchaku. Again, this is purely for fun. You'll see there's some Okinawan sensei now that are actually doing double nunchaku kata. Me personally, I don't have a problem with it. I think it looks kind of cool, right? It requires a lot of coordination. You're using both hands. So I'm going to show you a couple of exercises with double nunchaku that you can try working on. Just be advised, these are hard, okay? They're hard, all right? So the first one would be double figure eights. So we come here and we come down and we do double figure eights, okay? All right, and then eventually you want to do it with some power, right? Okay, which is fine, all right? But double figure eights, okay? So the next one is reverse figure eights with two nunchaku. And in the beginning, when you try doing these, you're going to wind up clocking the nunchakus, and then one rope will wrap around the other, and it's totally normal until you get a feel for how to actually do it, okay? The other thing you can do is what I used to do when I worked these is I do this, and then I come straight down and I catch the nunchaku with one hand, catch them like that. So that's another catch you can work. You can come here down and catch the nunchaku with one hand. So you just flip it in and catch it with the one hand. All right. You could do that with this figure eight, doesn't matter. Okay, this last one I'm going to do is a little hard and it's a little tricky, and you want to be very careful when you're initially doing it. So I'm going to do two figure eights up here in the air. So I'm going to step back, right? I'm going to do two figure eights up here, small figure eights, okay? So it's going to be 1, 2, and down, right? 1, 2, down, okay? This is 2 down. This one's a little dangerous, so you want to be careful, all right? And again, you can do this, you could do this, right? You could, and you could hear the nunchaku clonking behind me, right? So you want to be a little bit careful, all right? But again, if you can manipulate the double nunchaku, it means your coordination is pretty good. And that's what we're striving for with nunchaku practice. Again, in Matayoshi Kobudo, we have the nunchaku, we have the sensetsu cone. That creates a whole other set of problems, right? Where initially you're hitting yourself with the sensetsu cone. Then we have the saruchin, which is extremely dangerous. That's a rock on either end of a rope, and you're swinging it, and you could see it. I posted a video of that, some basic saruchin stuff on my channel, all right? And I'll redo it for the members so you have it. But so some of the weapons are very difficult, and the ones where there's swinging involved take a little bit more skill, all right? And what I mean by that is it's not that the bow isn't very difficult. They're all difficult. To be highly skilled at all the weapons is very difficult. And that's what I strive for. So I don't want someone to say, oh boy, Calandra is really good with the bow, but his, sai, not so great. I want to be good at all of them. I don't necessarily need to be great at all of them, but I want to be good, really good at all the different weapons. I want to have an ability with all the different weapons. All right. So again, putting this one out there for people to give you a start with nunchaku. See the variation of the different nunchaku techniques you can do. All right. Remember, it's primarily a striking weapon. So the way we block is we strike the hand that's closest to us. We get offline and strike. And you'll see that in future videos when I'm doing some of the actual partner work against an attacker. All right. I sometimes work nunchaku defense against a knife. You know, this is where I live in Arizona. You can carry these. So if you have your concealed carry permit, you can carry a pair of nunchaku. So again, you know, I sometimes, and again, why do I have a nunchaku versus knife? It's fun. Why do I work nunchaku versus punches or grabs? Just as something different for the class. Is that necessarily what I would do if I happen to have a pair of nunchaku on me and someone attacked me? No, I'd swing the nunchaku and take them out and we'd call it a day. But again, sometimes working these other techniques just gives us a little bit of insight in different things. And let's not take the fun idea out of it. You know, we should be having fun when we're working in Kobudo. I mean, you know, I was asked one time by a senior teacher, why do you practice that Kobudo stuff? And my response was twofold. How about fun? I really like it. I enjoy it. I love all the different weapons. It's just fun. And the other thing I said was, I'm using all these different weapons. They all have different little muscles I have to use to manipulate them. Keeps my body in very good physical condition. So keep that in mind also for a good reason to practice Kobudo. All right. Hope you liked this series on Nunchaku Kihon. And I'll see you in the next one, which will be the Nunchaku Kata. Thanks. Take care.